What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Roche, just in case you did not know. So we're back. We're talking about edge rushers in the 2021 NFL draft class. Just some guys to keep your eye out for going into this season. And I'm not gonna lie, this edge rusher class, it don't look great. It looks much weaker than last season's. There's a lot of guys that really you're putting a lot of projection in. Really anticipating them to pop off. There's a lot of question marks with some of these guys. I think there's my top 6, I'm pretty sure, are day 2 guys. Then after that, it's really questionable. But I'm going to give you a top 10 regardless, because that's what I've been doing, and I'm going to stick to that. Go ahead, become a bro, and subscribe. Leave a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. It really helps the video out a ton, so go ahead and help me out, because it'll help you out. It allows me to bring more content. It's a win-win, man. We're winning. I feel like, what is it, Charlie Sheen? I'm winning. I think that's him. I don't know. I know Tiger Blood was him. What are we talking about? Videos coming to the channel? Yeah, we're going to do the season previews. Coming up after we conclude the rankings. I'm finishing up right now my cornerback. So linebacker will be out tomorrow. Then I'll have cornerbacks and then safeties. Cornerbacks kind of the one I put the most probably work into, because it's the position I'm or at least most confident, most familiar with. So that'll be a blast, because I love the corner class. It's a heck of a lot deeper than what we're about to get into, but nonetheless, some names to keep an eye on. So let's go ahead. Let's get the thing started, and I'm going to start with Jamar Watson out of Kentucky. A lot of projection when it comes to this guy, because he looks ideal for a 3-4 given his size. He only has about, over the course of 3 seasons, a little over 300 pass rush snaps, which isn't a ton if you're a pass rusher. But the guy's very athletic, and he's been very effective when asked to do so. He had has a career win rate of 21.7%. Big thing though, kind of a liability against the run, but why I say he's kind of ideal for this 3-4 is he does have the athletic ability to drop back. He hasn't really been asked to do a lot of that at Kentucky, but when he has done it, he's been decent enough. So very intriguing prospect, especially from an athletic standpoint. But again, projection. Joe Tryon out of Washington. This guy is when I was going to check out Ryan Bowman from Washington, because that was a guy I was kind of high on last season. But Joe here, man, he probably has the most impressive hands and strength, or at least usage or placement of his hands in this class. Very athletic, good burst, but he does struggle with the change of direction. Good athlete, but I think when it comes to him struggling with change of direction, I think it's more so, it's not that he is incapable of that. I think it's more so because he's very aggressive, and at times he catches himself out of position. Especially, you notice this most against versus the run game, and he gets caught out of position, and he's basically dead to rights. He's virtually non-existent in the play anymore. So that's one thing, kind of a nitpick, but there is a lot to like about him here. And then we're going to stay in the Pac-12 with Hamilkar Rasheed Jr., a guy that actually I ended up looking at after I checked out Joe Tryon, because his name was kind of thrown into it as some of the top pass rushers from the Pac-12. And I was like, this guy, no lie, kind of had a high sack total. That's kind of intriguing. Let's look a little bit more into it. Again, you're going to say he needs to add a little bit more weight, a little bit more size. Might just be a situational pass rusher early on, but the guy closes in on ball carriers very, very quick. He's got very deadly closing speed. Basically, time snaps perfect. His combination of explosiveness and just speed, he just flies by tackles. He just bends around that corner so well. So there is a lot to like about him. But again, Oh, there are some question marks. He is kind of a bit of a projection at this point. I've seen some comps to Marcus Golden, so there is that. I'm not there yet, but I'm not a big fan of comps anyway, because they're rarely accurate. Then I got Myjai Sanders, a guy that I actually really like. He's probably the one, my most fun projection. From Cincinnati, good combination of size and explosiveness. He did most of his work out from a 6 tech or wider, so he's kind of reminiscent of Alton Robinson in that aspect. Very quick first step. He had a win rate of 17%. Win asked to be at a 6 tech or wider. Only 1 year of starting experience, though, because prior to that, he only had 49 snaps in 2018. So another year of just kind of demolishing the AAC. It's kind of necessary. Kind of necessary. You want to see guys that just dominate. I don't want to say inferior, but lesser competition. Kind of like with Curtis Weaver. He dominated the Mountain West for quite some time. Yet he still got no love. If you were with me in my watch along, I was going crazy. I was pounding my head for someone to draft him. And then my Miami Dolphins came out of nowhere and was like, need not say more. We got you. Oh, man. I love the Dolphins to some extent because they really hurt me sometimes. They've hurt me for years. Carlos Basham Jr. out of Wake Forest. This is where probably, like I said earlier, my top 6, I feel a lot. I feel way more sure about than really anyone else in this class. The guy, he dominated last season. He dominated the ACC with a strong bull rush. He has a nice combination of that size and explosiveness. I do want to see more consistency from him because he was kind of up and down. He would disappear at times. And I want to see a bit more in the toolbox. I want to see a little bit more than just a bull rush. Are you just Adrian Claiborne, or can you kind of show you can do a variety of different moves? And then on to the top 5. I got Jason away. Oh gosh, dude, I should have looked up. My apology. I didn't even look up how to say his name beforehand. I think it's away. If not, my bad. Y'all know my pronunciation kind of sucks. It's a weak point of mine. But very limited sample size with this guy. He was had 332 snaps last year. He was more of a rotation player. But the guy's got a good first step. He's got a really good bend around the edge. He had I think it was like 5.5 sacks as a rotation player. Very fast. It has been reported, don't know how accurate this is, but it has been reported that he has ran in the 4.3s there at Penn State. So, wow. I don't know if he is that fast, but if he's anywhere, if he's like a 4.5, I'm happy, you know? I'm like, wow, this guy is a monster, physical specimen, because he's got good size too, but good upper body strength as well. He graded on par with Yatir Gross-Matos, but keep in mind he also played significantly less snaps than Gross-Matos. Just a guy to keep your eye on. He's a big projection at this point, but you gotta like what you saw from limited sample size. And then on to the first rounders I got here. Quincy Roche out of Miami. The guy was a transfer from Temple. Probably has very, very good hand usage. Like I talked about Joe Tryon having some of the best hands. This guy, he has the best use of his hands. Like if that kind of makes sense. Like Joe Tryon, very powerful hands. This guy, he's a technician. He is a technician when it comes to that. Good set of pass rush moves as well. Dominated inferior competition being there at Temple. But he comes to the ACC. Let's see what he can do. He is a bit undersized. Needs to add some more muscle. But there's a lot to like about him. And then Xavier Thomas out of Clemson. This guy's kind of a projection. Kind of, sort of. He kind of really dominated in a limited role his freshman year. And then last year just... yeah. It wasn't great. It wasn't impressive, I should say. But he's got huge physical and athletic upside. Just want to see a bit more of that consistency. Like I said, his sophomore year was a big step down from his freshman year. So if he could show some consistency, yeah, first rounder, because it's a weak edge class. And then I got Chris Rumph II out of Duke. I'm going to keep him as an edge. Might end up being an off-ball linebacker when it's all said and done. just because he's 225. But I mean, he's so impressive as a pass rusher, like so impressive. Got an incredible prowess for pass rushing. Great length, good instincts for a pass rusher, great first step, good combination of speed and explosiveness. The guy's got really good length, like he's got good length, long arms. He had a pressure rate of 25.7 and a win rate of 30.8. That was like on par with Chase Young last year. But another thing, keep in mind, this is a very small sample size. He only had 409 snaps last season. So I do want to see him put on a little more weight because I really like him as an edge rusher. But I don't think you could really categorize this guy as like a Joe Schubert comp, where he was coming out as a guy that played on the edge, moving to off-ball linebacker that had a really good knack for rushing the passer. It's nowhere close to Chris Rumph, or at least what we've seen last season. So this is a guy I'm intrigued in. This is a guy I'm very intrigued in. I'm going to be watching a lot more ACC games this year. Not because I'm a Hurricanes fan, because, you know, Hurricanes, they haven't been anything. They haven't been special since 2003. And ironically, the same year my baseball team, the Marlins, were relevant. So, yeah. I really like bad teams. Gregory Rousseau, what a surprise. He's the #1 edge rusher here. The guy is just a physical marvel, freakish frame, freakish length, scary combination of strength and quickness. He does, again, there are question marks when it comes to he's still a bit raw. He has a small toolbox of pass rush moves, but he had 15.5 sacks last season despite not being a complete prospect yet. That's what you want to see. It's like, okay, he's got all these physical gifts, but he's still a bit raw, unpolished in some of these areas, but he's still winning despite that. It's kind of like what you saw with Ross Blackman on the interior last season at TCU. You saw a guy who was extremely athletic, just a specimen, and even despite him not being a complete prospect, he was winning. That's what you want to see. You want to see guys winning, because then it's like, wow, the freaking sky is the limit. And that might be the case for Gregory here. But that's it for the video. Go ahead and do the YouTube thing. Always much appreciated, much obliged. And go ahead and do the YouTube thing, meaning like the video, become a bro, and subscribe. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.